What will wreck a man's testosterone? Number one, body fat. One of the things that an excessive amount of body fat will do is that it will take testosterone and there will be a conversion into estradiol. It's called aromatase, which is the enzyme. So it will take the testosterone a man is making and it will aromatase it into estradiol, which is why if you look at a man with higher body fat, you will see that they'll have higher estradiol levels. And the question you have to ask is what is causing so much body fat in men? And it's processed food. A lot of times it's just sugar, it's grains, things like that. Highly processed food. It's not broccoli, guys. So having a lot of body fat will wreck a man's testosterone. Number two, having a lot of chronic stress will wreck a man's testosterone too, which is why you always want to see, is there any kind of immune system triggers that are doing on chronic infection, mold mycotoxicity, things like that. And it's not an acute stress that influences a man's testosterone. It's actually a chronic stress that just starts to beat them down. But there can also be a neurological response as well. For example, if you look at things like traumatic brain injuries from being in a car accident, or if they've had traumatic brain injury from chronic concussions and things like that, brain injuries can absolutely start to damage the neurological pathways in order to induce some of the stimulatory hormones that go to the pituitary that then are stimulating the testicles to be able to produce testosterone. So yes, it can be a neurological issue. There's no doubt about it. And that's why if you've seen people who have had traumatic brain injuries after a car accident, you will see that their testosterone can absolutely go down. And a lot of times it may not recover for a couple of years until the neurology just can start to reorganize itself as well. But this is also, there have been frequent concussions. And I have seen special forces who come back, and suffering traumatic brain injuries with some of the things that they were doing, coming back and seeing that their testosterone was just absolutely tanked. And here's the thing. Sleep is important, but sleep does not influence a man's testosterone as much as people believe. Most of a man's testosterone production is happening at the testicles and not at the adrenals. And that's what's getting really, really stressed if a person is under a high amount of stress or not getting enough sleep. So this is why, guys, it's not as simple as just taking testosterone boosting supplements. And it's not just as simple as doing that. In fact, if a man comes in with low testosterone, I'll recommend nothing in order to improve their testosterone. And the only reason why is because, things like tribulus or passion flower or some of those things all work differently. And so one of the things you really need to do is you need to start getting the lifestyle under control and see how it starts to level out and see how it starts to respond. But this whole idea of going to GNC, and having some high schooler who's going to let you know, oh, this is good, guys, this is why, it just doesn't work. It just doesn't work. But if a person will clean up their lifestyle, and you'll start to see it pick up, you'll start to see it improve. And if they're willing to keep their lifestyle in check, they're willing to start stimulating the body in order to lift heavy weights and things like that, then yes, after you do some post-testing, you can get a better idea of some of the things that are going to start helping them out. But this is why I would not be running to doing testosterone boosting supplements. This is why I don't recommend that you run off, and you start working with some kind of like remote lab online, and they're just going to send you testosterone to the pharmacy and you're just going to blindly take it. This is why you really need to start cleaning up your lifestyle, especially.